I'll acknowledge that this is going to look like a really strange example, but bear with me here. So this is a package of fish and chips. Fish and chips is a really important meal for New Zealanders like me. It is a meal that I grew up eating maybe once a week, once every other week, something like that. And there are lots and lots and lots of fish and chip shops. I've got a map for you guys here of the suburb that I grew up in Christchurch, New Zealand. I grew up, where are we? There. That's where my house was growing up. My parents now live here, so they haven't moved too far. This is a suburb with maybe, I don't know, 10,000 people in it, and 11 different fish and chip shops. So we got one there, two there, and 5 here. Actually, maybe 6. So 12 different fish and chip shops. Most everybody in New Zealand has a fish and chip shop within walking distance of their house. They're very, very, very common. Many families have a fish and chip night. My parents didn't, for which I'm, still a little bitter at them. But my best friend growing up, Logan, his family did have a fish and chip night. Every Friday night, they would order fish and chips, and I would often try to arrange for myself to be over at Logan's place for dinner. Now, the way this would typically go down at houses all around New Zealand is you get this package of fish and chips. Each person would order 1 or 2 of these pieces of fish here, or a hot dog. A hot dog in New Zealand is different than a hot dog here. It's more like a corn dog. It's a sausage with fish batter on it that's fried. Or various other big pieces of protein or whatever, and then you'd order a whole bunch of chips, fries. You'd order them by the scoop. That looks like about 1 scoop. Maybe you'd get 2 scoops for a family. And so then you'd open up this package of fish and chips, sometimes on the table. We often did it down on the floor, and sit around the package of fish and chips. You'd pull your piece of fish for yourself, so I'd take that piece of fish from me, I'd take it over here, and then that would be mine. That would be my private good, if you like. But the chips would typically stay in the middle as a common resource that anybody could take whenever they wanted. Now, so growing up, when I was over at my friend Logan's place, there would be me and Logan and his brother Tim, 3 boys about, maybe 10, 11 years old. You can imagine the sort of appetites that 10, 11-year-old boys have, getting, this fried food that's one of their favourite meals. And their sister Camille, who was, I think about 5 years younger, something like that. And so me and Logan and Tim, we would get our pieces of fish, put them off to the side and start ploughing into these chips. Eat them as fast as we can because, this was a race. If you didn't eat them, someone else would eat them and you would miss out. So that was what would happen. We would eat the common resource really, really quickly, and the private goods we would eat just, whenever we felt like it. There's no problem with the fish. With them being our private good, they were excludable. We could stop other people from taking them, but the chips were a common pool resource where anybody could take them whenever they wanted. Okay, so what do we do about that?